Welcome back, everybody. It is Talking Sports Football Preview here on ABC 3340. Big day of football coming up. And right here in the state, both the homestanding clubs will be welcoming their fans for the first time. Down on the plains, Auburn hosts Alabama State, which is a big opportunity for those kids. That's a Montgomery-based school. I mean, let's face it, we call people cupcakes that are in these kind of games. I didn't get to the Georgia Austin P ugliness last week of in the fourth quarter. The coaches actually agreed to shorten it to 10 minutes for the fourth quarter.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to play these games, I mean,
that's pathetic.
It's a joke. Anyway, Alabama State has the opportunity to go to Auburn today, which is right close by, of course, Montgomery and Auburn. And over in T-Town, the first time that Alabama fans, other than the A-Day game, have gotten to greet their conquering heroes with another national championship. It's going to be a great atmosphere there today. And the entree is the Red Wolves of Arkansas State. Let's start with that one. Alabama today, Legend, is a 37-point favorite. This is a Division I school, so this is not a secondary assignment, but really looks like a mismatch. Tell me about your impressions of today's game. What do you expect to see?
Well, I was in Orlando last week, Kip, and seen this team firsthand and seeing how outstanding Tua really is. Tua is the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. He will be in New York this year. This guy is a right-handed Russell Wilson, electrifying. This Alabama team is loaded at every position. When they go second string, they go third string. They are bringing NFL caliber players, ladies and gentlemen, that will be drafted at the next level into the game when other teams are still trying to catch their breath 30 points behind. These are the kind of games that you get stuff paid. Alabama's a team in history that you hadn't want to give a lot of points, but this year is different. Give up these points. Alabama big right here, Kip, 61-10 over Arkansas State.
Arkansas State won their opener last week in Jonesboro, Arkansas, when they knocked off Southeast Missouri State.
Impressive.
But they surrendered 21 points in that game, so that probably doesn't bode well for their chances today. Tua was incredible. The offense has more weapons probably than Alabama's had in maybe the entire Nick Saban era. Talk about the defense. What did you see?
Well, more weapons than the Coast Guard, Kip. I mean, they got weapons galore. Defensively, I was impressed with Alabama. The secondary, me and my baby went to the game. We thought the best player on the field was Deontay Thompson. Okay. All over the field, had one interception, could have had three. I mean, he was all over the field. He was a headhunter in that secondary, and he set a pattern for that secondary. I mean, they played a team that had three future NFL players at wide receiver last week and locked them down. Now, a lot of people think Ole Miss with Mr. Brown and company is going to be a problem, but we'll talk about that. That's a little spoiler for next week. But this week, Alabama big down there on holy ground in Tuscaloosa. It's going to be great, Kip.
I thought switching to Auburn, I thought their defense was everything that it was billed to be. Washington, this is a team with a 4-year starter at quarterback in Browning, and Gaskin, the running back, was a superstar last year. Those guys weren't much of a factor. Washington did have some success in the third quarter moving the football, but Auburn stiffened and stopped them and held them to field goals most of the time, and probably the key to the game when it may be just at the verge of slipping away for the Tigers, they generated a huge turnover in the red zone that really kind of turned that game around.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with this Auburn Tiger team. What you got to like about this team is it's kind of an underdog, a team that's really not thought of in the same category of Alabama and Georgia. But this is a team that beat Alabama and Georgia last year and has a lot of the same components back. Now, I wasn't really impressed with the running game.
That's the question.
You know, and the offensive line, there's still some questions there. But with a quarterback like that and a defense like that and a staff that's been together a few years, I mean, the Auburn Tiger fans might be throwing a lot of toilet paper this year and not just out of your outhouses.
Well, you know, you're not supposed to. Nick Saban has taught you this, and I'm sure you're. If you need to chastise me, go ahead. You don't ever look ahead. You know, you don't disrespect your opponents. So we're not trying to disrespect Alabama State. But you got to tell me that after seeing LSU by themselves in the national spotlight Sunday night, guess who comes to dinner next week on the Plains?
Another spoiler right here from Kip Keefer, the great radio man and TV man in the nation, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh.
Listen right here. LSU next week. That's a big playoff game. Already playoff games in the SEC. And Auburn needs to take a little time this week, which I'm sure they will, and begin to prepare for this LSU team. The Cookie Monster down there got something to prove. And next week is a heavyweight bout in Oxford and the Auburn LSU game. Some big heavyweight bouts. Just some cupcake tune-up games this week, but some big games for the state next week.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, there's some big games in the SEC today. We're going to talk about those when we come back. You're watching Talkin' Sports, brought to you by Birmingham Greyhound Racing on ABC 3340.